We are on the road to Backlash 2002. We're coming straight off the first draft in WWE history, and now we're legitimately right back to having everybody on the same show. At least one more time. This SmackDown, the March 28th, 2002 SmackDown, was the final show before officially we get the brand extension. And we have one thing to go over that I've made a mistake on in some of the episodes we've been doing. The episodes we have done leading up, well, to Backlash 02. The gutting of the tag division. Okay, so yeah, APA did split. They got different shows. The Dudleys obviously were both drafted in the actual draft. APA I think was lottery. I said the Hardys too. The Hardys were actually both drafted to Raw along with Lita. So the Hardys Team Extreme did not get split up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they said it on.
I can't believe we forgot about their match at Judgment Day with Brock.
Oh yeah, they go into a feud with Brock. What the fuck? I don't know what
stupid.
the hell.
This is you fucked up. You fucked up. See, I was only in preschool according to Frank, so I wouldn't know this information. Frank, of the elder statesman over here, the old man, the man who's almost 40, and once he becomes 40,
I am not almost 40. I'm 32.
Yeah, you're halfway there, buddy. We'll have to get rid of him, unfortunately, because as Frank does not like anybody who's 40. He's actually a firm believer in once you become 40, you've outlived your usefulness. So just go to retirement home, you old man. That's what Frank believes. So, anyways, here's 40-year-old Triple H in an action tonight.
Yeah, well,
and 60-something-year-old Vince McMahon.
So we kick off this show with Booker T taking on DDP. Booker T going to be on Raw. DDP going to be on SmackDown. This is literally history. This is literally the first interpromotional match in the original brand extensions history. Which, you know, there were
it's also a WCW match here too.
Well, WCW's gone, but there were a lot of big interpromotional matches. Not early on, but obviously later on when they started like doing, you know, from like WrestleMania 20 on. And they obviously WrestleMania 21 had fucking Orton and Undertaker, Angle and Michaels. So, and they were
Aki Bono and Big Show.
That was not interpromotional.
I mean, that was more legit interpromotional than SmackDown Raw.
That's true. It is true. But in terms of SmackDown guys versus Raw guys,
well, 2005 was the that whole gimmick for that year was SmackDown versus Raw. That was like the only year that they, other than 2003, which they kind of took seriously, like SmackDown versus Raw, and a few things in 04.
It's because they had just put out a video game literally called SmackDown.
Yeah. But the whole gimmick for 05 was like because the poster was the West Side Story with SmackDown and Raw superstars. And then at WrestleMania it was SmackDown and Raw. And then, of course, later in the year, Survivor Series, it's SmackDown and versus Raw, the Concentro.
So Booker T versus DDP is another one of these matches. Is another one of these matches that is literally just put on the show for Brock Lesnar to run in and beat the shit out of somebody. Brock Lesnar, although in this match, for the other matches, at least maybe except with the exception. Well, no, I was gonna say no. So, the first match, it was like real early on that Brock came in that hardcore match. The second match, I think they kind of went at it for about 2 to 3 minutes. There was one match. Oh yeah, the one at the last Raw, Rikishi versus Regal, where Brock just came right in. The match never happened. Well, this one was another one where they wrestled for a few minutes, and I was actually surprised that Brock came out because it seemed like this was going to be a legitimate match. But then Brock comes out, spine busters DDP. Booker T's on the outside, so he spine busters DDP, and then he F5s him. Paul Heyman comes in the ring and does the diamond symbol, and yeah, well that's how we kick off the show. Brock Lesnar taking out DDP. Not much of a match. Again, they wrestled for about 2 minutes before Brock came out. But again, you're building Brock Lesnar here as a guy who's just taking everybody out, and that was a cool way to kick off the show. What did you think of Brock?
If they really wanted to build that he takes everybody out, why is he only interfering in one match?
That's true.
Like, wouldn't it make more sense? Also, why he's going after like the lesser talent? He's interfere in the main event tonight, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Somebody does. Somebody does.
Yeah, but it ain't Brock.
I mean, they could have went the whole 97 late 97 Kane, where Kane just was on Raw going after everybody pretty much throughout the show. They could have did that with Brock.
That would have built him up.
Yes. Now we have Kurt Angle in ring, and he says that the fans should show him some appreciation because he's an Olympic gold medalist. The fans booed him as soon as he came out and did the "You Suck." He says the fans.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they did the "You Suck."
That wasn't a gimmick yet. That wasn't the.
Me neither. Me neither. That's why I was surprised. But at some point, this is pretty much where it starts because this is the exact feud that he's currently in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But they were I swear they were chanting it.
Huh. Because I know Edge is the one who started. It's probably during the build. It's probably one of the Smackdowns.
It is. It's coming up real soon.
Yeah.
He says the fans need to show some appreciation because he's an Olympic gold medalist. He says the fans are pathetic, almost as pathetic as what happened to Stephanie McMahon last Monday on Raw. And yes, that was a tragic.
No, it wasn't. It was glorious. Moment. It was great.
No, he's gone. He's gone. There will be no Stephanie McMahon hate on this channel.
Come on, I was only talking about a thick, disgusting, nasty animal. And I was talking about Stephanie too.
You did that wrong.
I know I did. I fucked up.
Anyway, Kurt goes on to say,
"This is awful." This is my last show ever, folks. I'm sorry.
Kurt goes on to say he will not let Stephanie McMahon's leaving go unnoticed. He asked for a moment of silence for Stephanie McMahon. They put her picture up on the Tron, and these horrible, horrible fans start booing. That's when Angle, rightfully so, calls them heartless. He then says he's going to beat the ever-living shit out of everybody in the crowd. He obviously didn't say it that way. They're on UPN. Poop. They're on UPN. He can't say he didn't say poop either. He just said he was going to beat them up. I put my own spin on it. And he goes out. He leaves the ring. He's about to go into the crowd and beat the hell out of everybody. That would have made for some funny television. And that's when Mr. McMahon's music hits. Mr. McMahon comes out and he says that the fans desecrated Stephanie McMahon's name. And because of that, when you desecrate Stephanie McMahon's name, you are desecrating Mr. McMahon's name. He calls Triple H a real son of a bitch. And he says, while Stephanie was not perfect, it was Triple H who was the reason. Triple H was a bad influence on Stephanie McMahon, and that's why Stephanie was not perfect, which is true. Uh, he says he's very happy that Triple H is WWE champion because while he's drafted to Raw, he will now be, which he wasn't in the draft. I don't think that's okay. Well, he says that this puts him on both shows. So that means obviously he will be on SmackDown with Mr. McMahon. And Mr. McMahon says that he intends to make Triple H's life a living hell, just like Triple H did to Stephanie McMahon. That is when Triple H comes out. And he says that if McMahon screws with him, then he himself will make McMahon's life a living hell. And then Triple H says we should honor Stephanie McMahon. Right. He says he agrees with Kurt Angle and he says we should honor Stephanie McMahon. But then that is when a replay of the main event shows up on the Titantron. They show the end of it, at least, when he pedigrees her and pins her, and the security carries Stephanie out. And Angle then, who's absolutely pissed off at this point, asks Mr. McMahon for a match with Triple H. But McMahon says, any normal situation, I would give you that match, but I want Triple H. And then Triple H says, well, okay, if you both want it, then you both can get it. And McMahon says that, yeah, you will face both of us, but it will be in a handicap match. And that is when Ric Flair comes out and he says, look, you're forgetting while the brand extension is going to happen next week, it's still 50-50 between you and me. And this match is not going to be a handicap match. It is going to be a tag team title match, a tag team match. And Billy and Chuck just random.
I have flipped Billy Chuck. This man over here, look at him. Woo! Is my tag team partner. And we're still 50-50. This is why Rico eventually pins him later in the year, because he stripped him the tag titles right here.
Right, yeah.
Storytelling, baby.
Flair says since this is his last SmackDown, he is making himself Triple H's tag team partner. So we get pre-evolution Triple H and Ric Flair in your main event, and they will be taking on Mr. McMahon and Kurt
What's evolution? It's a mystery.
Yeah, that's right. You were in preschool back then. I know.
It's a mystery.
Ric Flair tells Triple H to do him a favor in this tag match. Kick Angle's ass so I can kick Mr. McMahon's ass. And the segment kind of ends with Ric Flair just continuously pointing at Mr. McMahon saying, You.
Yeah, he's had a little too much to drink here, folks.
Yeah, this was a great segment, though. All the stuff with Stephanie McMahon that they brought back. Triple H was funny here, and then obviously just setting up the main event in the end. That was I enjoyed the segment. What do you think about this the segment here?
I do love how Vince McMahon is so crazy that he doesn't even really really care that much. The fact that his daughter, who just a few months ago tried to put him out of business.
Right.
He's like, how dare you disrespect my daughter's name? A few months earlier, though, he's like, slut.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Go ahead.
Just saying, I mean, I think Vince McMahon might be a little bit of a hypocrite. No.
So now we have the Dudley Boys backstage. Devon says it all comes down to this. If we beat Billy and Chuck, tag titles on the line tonight, they stay together because obviously they're the tag champs so they can perform on both shows. If they don't win the match, then they go their separate ways, and that's it for the Dudleys.
No.
Bubba says if this is the end, then what a perfect place to go out in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right, I know. Where the Dudley Boys originated from.
Ew.
And Bubba
No, they originated from Dudleyville.
where they originally became a tag team.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
With Big Dick Dudley and and Dances with Dudley. All those other Dudleys.
Bubba Ray says that they are going to go out there and take Billy, Chuck, Rico, and Tro to the extreme. And that's the end of that segment. That was a good way to get the Dudleys just getting hyped up, getting ready for the match. Now we have the match itself. Billy and Chuck with Rico and Tro in their corners, defending the tag titles against the Dudley Boys. And this was a good little tag match here. I give it a 2.5 stars. Billy hits the Faymaster on Bubba Ray Dudley. At this point, the referee is kind of distracted because Devon chased, I believe it was Chuck out, or it might have been Rico. It was one of them. He chased them to the back. And no, it would have to be Rico because Chuck was in the ring. Yeah. So he chases Rico out. Chuck's a legal man here. Ref's not looking. Faymaster on Bubba Ray. And Chuck gets the pin. So Billy and Chuck retain. A brawl takes place afterwards. And it ends with the Dudleys 3D'ing Billy through the table. Devon ran back after this. 3D'd Billy through the table. And then got another table, lit it on fire, and powerbombed poor Tro. Not 3D, powerbomb poor Tro through that burning table.
You know what? Then I got up then and no sold it. Obviously,
he did. Yeah.
Then Jim Cornette came out and said I should have never been brought into this business. And then Vince Russo came out and handed me the WWF title. So
and after the 3D on Billy, they had their embrace, and that was the final moment of the Dudley Boys until about 2000. Until about Survivor Series.
Nope, last time they ever team up. They'll never ever be together again because SmackDown and Raw are two different companies. Like, come on.
Thoughts on the segment prior to the match and the match itself?
Well, this is it for Devon. Devon is a face. So it takes about 2 weeks for him or something like that to become a reverend. So
he's going to become a reverend.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes Bubba to replace him with Spike on Raw.
That's more like Summer.
Yeah.
For a short time early in the brand extension, Bubba Ray has random tag matches.
Yeah.
At one point he tags for a few times he tags with Trish Stratus, which lucky him. But
I know he becomes hardcore champion at some point.
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
Him, Brett. They kind of like the singles wrestlers who branch off from tag champions just hang out and just win hardcore titles on Raw because I know Bradshaw has it for a while.
Yeah, Bradshaw changes. Changes the look of the belt at one point. Is he the one that put the New York license plate on it?
No, that was Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, that was Tommy Dreamer. Right.
Dreamer did that. Bradshaw put the Texas flag on it.
Right, but Bradshaw was the first to change it in his look.
And I remember that because Eric Bischoff was I think it was the week after he debuted or his first night. They're in the back, and whoever had won the hardcore title from Bradshaw early in the night, they're like, I'm very happy to be here. And then out of nowhere, Bradshaw comes, just clotheslines him, knocks Bischoff over, and pins him.
Speaking of tag teams breaking up, there's another tag team that's breaking up because of the brand extension, and there's no tag title match for them. Billy and Chuck and And Rico and
Nope.
Tro are not pulling double duty. So this is
Ooh.
definitely the end for them. And we're talking about the APA. And they
Now,
are go ahead.
it's actually funny that we're doing an APA breakup because we do another one on.
Yeah, that's right. I just realized
Yeah,
that.
we we can't stop getting away from the APA breaking up.
Yeah. How do we keep connecting these road twos so like
Yeah,
not even trying. WrestleMania 15, the road to WrestleMania 15 was followed up by the road to Unforgiven 01. They connected because WrestleMania 15's road to obviously has the beer bath, and Unforgiven's road to has the milk bath. And now we have another connection with these two road twos where Backlash has the APA splitting up. Our next road two is Judgment Day 04.
yep.
And that was where the APA legitimately split up for good.
It's crazy how time flows. I guess.
Yep. So now the APA are backstage in their office. Ron and they're playing a card game. Farouk says card games this card game just isn't the same. And they start looking back on some of the memories that they had. And Bradshaw says it's a shame that the APA is ending because of a lottery, all because McMahon and Flair couldn't get along. Farouk says that Bradshaw will always be here as he points to his heart, and Bradshaw says, "You too," you know. And that is when Tajiri and Tori Wilson show up. By the way, they showed up by walking through the invisible wall, and the APA didn't tell them, "Hey, knock on the door,"
Too
which
sad.
yeah, they were too sad to do it. But Bradshaw tells Tajiri to go tell everyone that there is a big party tonight, APA's final party. But he also tells him, leave Tori here, Tori Wilson, because she is going to play naked. I mean, she's going to play cards. Tajiri leaves as APA tells Tori to sit down. They ask her if she's ever played poker, to which she says no. And Bradshaw's like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna play a game of strip poker." This was an entertaining APA segment. We're gonna get a couple of these throughout the night that are just really good. I thought it was some good comedy. Tajiri is always made for good comedy, especially in these days with Tori Wilson. But what do you think of this strip poker that we got coming up?
I think it's the end of the road. The end of the APA. They'll never team up again
Yeah,
until they do later. Not this year, but I think next year.
next year, yes. Now we have Lillian Garcia interviewing Lita and Matt Hardy. And this is where I realize, oh, so the Hardys didn't split up. So gives congratulations to Lita on being drafted to Raw, and Matt for ending up on the same show as Lita. Both Lita and Matt talk about how happy they are, and Matt Hardy was the one to mention, Team Extreme is all on Raw. Lita, Matt, and Jeff, and yeah, they said they talk about how happy they are, but then they are interrupted by Chris Jericho, who says, "Yeah, well, good for you, but it's all about me, and I will never be happy until I am champion again." And Matt Hardy sympathizes with Jericho, saying, nobody wants to be a has been. Matt and Lita walk away, and Jericho attacks them from behind and just yells, "I am not a has been." That is the end of that segment. And are you ready for what followed? The segment that followed.
I am.
One of the most entertaining moments in SmackDown history. We have Hulk Hogan backstage in a locker room. Rock comes in and says, "This is it," which, by the way, this is literally what he said on Raw on Monday. So as we now know, that was not true.
Well,
But
it's like whatever The Rock says once in a lifetime, and he does not mean it. As WrestleMania 28 and 29 proved, once in a lifetime, guys, once in a lifetime, never again until next year.
Rock comes in once again, says this is our last shot to beat the NWO.
Last shot.
And I'm surprised Hulk Hogan just didn't stand there and be like, "Didn't you just tell me it was our last shot on Monday?"
He breaks. He's self-aware. He's like, brother, we just you told me that last night.
Yeah.
Kane walks in. Oh, hey, Glenn.
And Hogan says he just he wants the NWO as bad as The Rock, but tonight they have a partner in Kane. And Hogan talks about how he's dealt with a lot of big men in his career,
Oh boy.
but this Kane guy scares him. And he asks Rock, "Can we trust him?" And Rock says, "Look, he's no King Kong Bundy. He's no Andre the Giant. You can trust him." And then that's when Kane comes in with Tro, who's burning in that table, and
No,
Kane
no,
says,
no. We're Frank. Small Frank who's terrified of Kane.
and Kane says to Tro, "You think burning in that table was bad? Wait till I show you real fire." And then he does an impersonation of both Rock and Hogan doing the "What you gonna do?" He mentions the Hulkamaniacs and says he's got his dozens of Canaanites. It was an extremely entertaining segment because, well, first of all, this was the first time that you ever seen Kane sort of come out of character and be entertaining, and it was great. One of the best segments in SmackDown history. Kane was tremendous here. The Lita Matt Hardy Jericho segment was great too. Just setting up a match for later tonight. You have Jericho still sour about losing the championship, and he bitched about how that really the shot he got on Monday wasn't really even a real rematch. It was a triple threat.
He's right.
Yeah. So thoughts on the Matt Hardy Lita and Jericho segment, and then thoughts on one of the greatest segments in SmackDown history.
I think Jericho should be banned and kicked from the WWF for laying his hands on Lita. I thought that segment was good. Look at the Kane, Hogan, and Rock segment in the year 2025, knowing all their, especially Kane and Hogan's political leanings, is a little like, oh boy. But to see Kane, this man was a killer. He was a monster. And now he's saying Canaanites.
What's so wrong with the Canaanites?
What happened to his voice box, Frank?
That's he didn't need it anymore. You didn't know that if you were in a burning building,
yeah,
and you need a voice, but you only need the voice box for about a decade.
Yeah. Of course. You see those smoking ads where they have like the voice things. What they really need is X-Pac to come out. You don't need that thing anymore. You just throw us their thing. I need this because I smoked for 55 fucking years. X-Pac, you don't need that anymore. Goes into a hospital with somebody like on a freaking ventilator. You don't need you don't need that anymore.
Could you imagine this segment with Kane still having the voice box?
Yes. All about Canaanites. Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of the best segments in SmackDown history. And then we come to a really good six-man tag match. Hulk Hogan, Rock, and Kane taking on the NWO, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac. And this match ends.
No, that's 6. That's
No, this
his
isn't
name is
WCW.
his name is 6.
This isn't WCW. He's not
They called
sick.
him 6 on Smackdown. Shut your mouth. I think
What the hell? They did not call him six on Shut Your
they
Mouth.
called him 6 on something.
I have no idea what that would be. But Kane wins with a choke slam on X-Pac. A really fun six-man tag match. Crowd was into it. Obviously, you got Hogan and Rock in the ring, and they're going up against the villainous NWO. So, obviously, this was a really fun six-man tag match. And this is essentially the end of the Hogan-Rock NWO feud. The NWO Kane feud, though, will continue over on Raw once the brand extension officially starts. But the NWO Kane feud doesn't last for all that long. Um, like I said, I give us 4.5 stars. That was a phenomenal six-man tag match. What are your thoughts on Kane? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was good. Yeah, so this is the end of the Hogan and NWO phase, I guess. So
Yes, yes.
I guess we get red and white, not red and white, red and yellow.
Black and white. What do you mean get red,
Eventually,
red, and yellow? This is the end of Hogan and. What do you mean?
I'm talking about Hogan. When does he come back to regular Hogan?
Hogan is back to the regular.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Voodoo Child. I'm not a fan of Voodoo Child. Okay, I like Real American. Damn it, give me.
Oh, you mean theme song? Yeah, he does
Yeah,
come out with Voodoo Child. Yeah.
give me Real American. Damn it.
Because I was remember I gotta watch the Raws on these DVDs, and he comes out to Voodoo Child on the last Raw episode, and obviously watching this SmackDown, the edited theme plays, so clearly that's for Voodoo Child. None of Hogan's other themes are edited out on.
They could have just dubbed in fucking Real American instead of giving us a off-brand Voodoo Child.
Yeah.
Could have given him this WCW theme.
Real American comes in on Independence Day because obviously
Yeah.
that's when he teams with Edge, and obviously it makes sense. Real American, America's birthday.
With that Canadian there edge.
Yeah. Nothing says Independence Day like teaming up with Canada. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, in modern times, no, but yeah.
By the way, once again, no smack of the night or anything like that. It didn't happen on the last show either. I thought that was just the DVD. The person who recorded it just cut it out and it didn't record it, but they didn't have it on here. I
guess you have to apologize to them.
Apologize to who?
The person who you criticized for the DVD.
Oh yeah,
For not having the smack of the night. No, like they didn't even have it, Frank. Sorry.
So now we have Chris Jericho taking on Matt Hardy. This wasn't much of a match. This was just to get some heat on Jericho. He wins the match by getting Matt tap out to the walls. Jericho, he kicks Matt Hardy in the ribs right afterwards. Goes out. So Lita got knocked down late in the match off the apron. So as Jericho's walking away, Lita's kind of recovering, and Jericho turns around, puts her in the walls of Jericho, and then just yells, "I'm not a," or he yells, "Who's the has been now?" or something like that. Like I said, in terms of the match, not much going on. I give it 1 star, but the Jericho being the heel that he is, it's crazy to me that Jericho was not on the pay-per-view. Obviously,
Even Maven has a match.
Even Maven has a match. Like the promo was good, but I don't understand how they couldn't find somebody for him. I don't know.
He
Thoughts?
could have faced Matt.
Well, Matt got F5'd on the stage and was gone for a couple of weeks, and that was right before the
Nonsense. He should have come out.
Thoughts on Chris Jericho versus Matt Hardy in the post match that ensued?
A very, very quick match. I guess Jeff was not available for the show. I thought the brand extension started already. I'm sorry, Matt.
APA card game part 2. The APA once again looking back on members. This time, like the whole freaking like SmackDown roster is there. Like at least half of them, like a couple of guys. Booker T, Christian, Hurricane, to name a few. Obviously, Tori and Tajiri. APA once again just looking back on some memories. They're doing it with the guys who are in this card game, and Christian chimes in. He's sitting right next to Farouk. He's like, "Hey, remember that time we jumped? We jumped you guys up. Never mind." He thinks twice about it, and I'm guessing that the we he's referring to would be him and Edge. But then right after that, Tajiri wins, and somehow that means Tori has to take off a piece of clothing, not everybody else. Not that I'm complaining, but like there's bunch of people in this card game. But sadly, when it comes time for Tori to take off a piece of clothing, she only takes off the chain she has wrapped around her stomach. So, bit of a disappointment there.
She's stripping. She has to start the chains, and then she'll untie her hair.
And then Christian throws a temper tantrum because he was one card away from a royal flush. And then he just starts banging on the table because he's so upset. And JBL just picks the chain up. He's looking at the chain. He's like, could have been like a thong or something, but why? He's so just keeps looking at the chain. He's all upset. At this whole time, Farouk is just watching Christians throw the temper tantrum. Like he's looking at Christian like he's crazy, and he just says, "Damn." And that's how that segment ends. This was hilarious. This show had a lot of hilarious segments on it. All this APA stuff, obviously the Canaanite segment, a lot of really good shit on here with these backstage segments. What are your thoughts on Strip Poker, essentially part 1, I guess? Even though it's part 2 of APA segments. But yeah, that sums it up. And have I ever told you I hate chains?
You love chains.
Now we have a random Rob Van Dam versus Test match. Essentially, Test just gets into a fight here with Earl Hebner where they do the spot where guy's holding the ropes and the ref kicks him off the ropes. So Test is essentially getting into it with Earl Hebner, and in the end, RVD hits Test with a roll up, and Earl Hebner's like, "Fuck this," and he quit counts Test. Just a random ass match, and not much else to really talk about. I give it 1 star. Your thoughts on a random RVD versus Test match?
Earl, hey, look at me, 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 look at me. Hebner over here. I mean, he's not a very good referee.
Jerry Lawler points out that Earl Hebner has screwed another Canadian.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Look, the job of a referee is supposed to be in the background, like not noticeable. This motherfucker was in every goddamn And whenever he refereed a match in this era, it was, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, I'm Earl Hebner.
It was entertaining,
But you're
especially
not,
when
so you're supposed to be in the background as a referee. Count
you,
to three, break the hold.
no,
Yep.
no. The referee is just as much a part of the is just as much a part of the match as
Well, they're
the
giving the signals to the fucking wrestlers to go home, and
there's
hopefully they listen.
there's nothing wrong with having non wrestlers be a part of the entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And Earl Hebner was great at that.
Yeah, he really sold. Him and his brother really sold being referees.
Now we have Raven trying out to be a goaltender as he is sitting on a hockey net backstage. And Jonathan Coachman comes over and he says Raven has found himself back in the WWE as he was drafted to Raw. And now tonight he is challenging for the hardcore title as he takes on Maven. It's the dream match of Raven Maven, Raven Maven, Maven Raven.
I can't believe Ravens has been released from prison after he murdered Moppy.
Yeah, well, he's back.
I don't think Perry Saturn's even in the company anymore.
No, Perry Saturn. When they did the names, so they had like a bottom ticker throughout the night. The first one was for SmackDown. It was during the opening match, and then later on in the show they had a bottom ticker for Raw. Everybody was drafted to Raw. Perry Saturn was drafted to SmackDown in the lottery, so he's still there. Remember,
Still,
at some point he gets shot, and like that's the end. Which, as he revealed on the aforementioned Maven's podcast,
they
Raven
fired me because I got shot.
Raven says, well, Coach essentially asks him his thoughts on being drafted to WWE and now facing Maven tonight, and Raven's response was, "Who he wrestles for is less important than what he wrestles for." He then quotes Oscar Wilde and says, "They say we destroy the things we love, but really the things we love destroy us." And he says that because Maven's passion in Raven's mind has led to his success, but it will also prove to be his Waterloo, courtesy of the Raven effect. This was a good interview here. I think Raven was always really good at articulating things,
Yeah.
and he did it here again. Go ahead, give your thoughts.
Raven is like Bray Wyatt in that he cuts a great promo, has a great character, but then he wrestles. Not saying that Raven or Bray were bad in the ring. They were good in the ring, but they cannot match the aura, the type of promo that they're cutting does not exactly translate into the ring and then like any actual storylines because. Raven has a good. Raven was great in ECW. He had the whole flock, and that was over there. It just does not work here in WWF.
I think Raven was fine for where they had him in WWE. He was fine. He was never going to be the top guy.
He was never going to be a top guy, but he could. I mean, later on when he does the Devil's Advocate, or was that seven deadly sins? Something he did on like Heat. Yeah, if trying to get on the main roster.
It's like 2002 Heat too, so I've not seen any of those.
Pre-show era of Heat.
Yeah. Let's see here. Here we go. The dream match, hardcore title: Maven, Raven, Raven, Maven, Maven.
Hey
Raven.
Guys, Maven here. Here's the time about when I wrestled Raven. Maven, Raven, Raven, Maven.
So Tommy Dreamer comes in because remember this is still 24/7. Tommy Dreamer comes in and I believe he tries to roll up Maven. Maven kicks out, and a few minutes later, Raven essentially gets the gets one up on Maven, and he hits a Raven effect on the chair, and his prophecy in his promo essentially comes to true because the Raven effect was Maven's Waterloo, and Raven is your new hardcore champion. And do you know what that means?
Hey guys, Maven here. Here's when I lost the title to Raven.
But you know what that means, right?
What?
Do you remember in the promo or the interview that just happened prior, what show Coach said Raven was drafted to, right?
He was drafted to the Raw.
That means the hardcore title is moving over to Raw.
Yep.
Maven was the 10th overall pick for SmackDown. So the hardcore title was on SmackDown here. Now it's going to Raw. Thoughts on Maven? Oh, well, first off, I always enjoy hardcore matches. I've said that so many times on this channel. The hardcore matches at this point are not as great necessarily as the Attitude Era, like 99, 2000 matches, but this one was still decent. And again, you know, the 24/7 rule made it interesting as well. I always love the 24/7 thing. I give it 2.5 stars. And you know, Dream. It feels random that Dreamer ran in here, especially that he didn't win. But still, the match was okay. I enjoyed it. Your thoughts on Maven, Raven, Raven, Maven?
Raven,
With
Maven,
Tommy
Maven,
Dreamer.
Raven.
With Tommy Dreamer.
Maven with Tommy Dreamer. Of cameo of Tommy Dreamer. I wonder if they played Tommy Ball in the back. If you got that reference, then good for you.
I did not get that reference.
I'll tell you off air because we'll get demonetized if I told you on air. Not that we're monetized already, but
we've already got community guidelines for trying to watch a confidential.
If I told you what Tommy Ball is, we would get community stricken live again. Even though the Undertaker can. Apparently,
I don't know how many community guideline strikes do you need to get before your channel gets taken down.
Hey guys, let's find out.
Let's show that confidential intro again. That has Fable in the phone. Let's show it again.
Let's just speed run getting our YouTube channel banned. Jokes on them. We don't get the emails. Somebody else does.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fun match. Maven is decent in the ring. Raven's decent too, but Raven's also into like his element of hardcore, so he has that advantage.
Right. So again, the hardcore title is moving over to Raw, and the very next thing that we cut to is Mr. McMahon and Kurt Angle backstage, and McMahon is obviously pissed off that the hardcore he just lost the hardcore title, and what he does in this moment, he pulls a table closer to him, lights it on fire, grabs Little Tro, and power bombs him through the burning table. That is now 2 burning tables on this night that Tro has been power bombed.
But once again, I still no sold it.
Man, no selling your own boss.
I'm just like Austin Aries and versus Johnny Impact after he gets hit by the Starship Pain and loses the title, and this gets right back up.
I've seen that. Even though I have not watched TNA.
That was from years ago, though.
Yeah, that was like 2019. I still was not watching back then. Like,
Austin Aries, that dick.
Yeah. So McMahon and Angle backstage. McMahon is angry that he just lost the hardcore title of Raw because of that creep Maven.
Call the kettle black there. Hey guys, this is the time when I was called a creep by Vince McMahon in a backstage segment.
He says he's not going to lose the free agent Stone Cold Steve Austin though to Raw. Kurt Angle then says he's heard a rumor about Austin that Austin will be on Raw Monday night. Mr. McMahon says, well, if that's true, then I'm going to have to be there and I'm going to bring Austin to SmackDown. To which Kurt Angle says, well, I hope you do. But forget about Austin tonight, because tonight is the focus is about kicking the crap out of Triple H and Ric Flair, these Evolution sons of bitches. We're going to beat them so badly that Evolution never even becomes a faction. He then says,
What's Evolution, though?
See, yeah, I know. Back in 2003, 2004, you were in preschool. I know.
The mystery.
Kurt then says it's an honor to tag with Mr. McMahon, even though, and Kurt Angle has to bring it up again, even though McMahon picked him second when he should have been picked first. He says it's still an honor to tag with you. Mr. McMahon says thank you. They shake hands and they hug, and that's the end of that. Good segment here. Again, you got to remind the people that Stone Cold Steve Austin is a free agent. We still do not know where he is going, and you got to remind everybody. Obviously, Mr. McMahon wants Austin, so does Flair. Nobody wants Tro. They're just power bombing him through burning tables lately. But yeah, good little segment. And of course, Kurt Angle is still salty as hell over being taken second overall by SmackDown, which would make him third overall technically.
I wonder if Jaden Daniels was like that to the Bears.
Yep, he wouldn't be Jaden Daniels. He would be was Drake May the third overall pick? I think that he would be Drake May.
Drake May goes to the Bears. Fine. I'll practice the guys, even though you didn't pick me first overall.
And now, speaking of, first off, your thoughts on McMahon and Angle backstage here. McMahon pissed off about losing the hardcore title.
I like how Kurt was really just focused on the match. Like, he doesn't even care that Maven lost, because he's like, dude, I'm just trying. We got a big match tonight. I kind of want to, focus on that and nothing really else. But also, fuck you for not drafting me first, you dick.
Yeah. After that, Cole and Jerry Lawler recap the draft. They show the pictures of all the 10 picks for each side on the screen. And then we go back to the APA card game. And Hurricane is downing a beer as they cheer him on. And guess who has to come and ruin the fun?
William Regal.
William Regal comes in and says, how lovely is it that the APA are having a party with a few lowly tarts and a few low lives? Regal then reminds APA about last week, saying how he said the APA could both be drafted separately and on separate shows, of course. And that came true. And JBL's like, well, we're out of time and we're also out of beer. So that means we're done. And he said the party's over. And he grabs Regal and they start brawling. The rest of the guys that were in the card game sort of disappear. And Regal's knocked out. They sort of put him through the card table, the table they were using for the card game. And it's just now Bradshaw and Farouk standing together, and they essentially just realize this is it. Farouk says that was the last party, but at least we went out the same way we came in. And that is when Bradshaw and Farouk walk through the door. Bradshaw flips the open sign to close. He thanks Farouk. They shake hands. And the lights go out on the APA as fans give them an ovation. I want to say too, when Bradshaw flipped the sign to close, the fans booed. They were really not happy about the APA splitting, but they still gave the APA an ovation for the end here. Although again, 2003, they come back. They were both on the shelves. I can't remember why, but in the springtime of 2003, they came back. Oh no, in the summer of '03, they came back
Yeah, they're together
to
for Vengeance. Both
yeah,
three.
Vengeance. I love that fucking barroom brawl. That was
With
tremendous.
Brother Love and the Bunny.
Yeah, and Brian Kendrick just getting drunk on the at the
No, no,
bar.
no, that was Funaki, I think.
I think maybe it
I
was.
think
Yeah, it was Funaki.
Funaki just drinking as everyone's fighting around.
Oh, you know what it was? Brian Kendrick was dancing on top of the bar at the beginning. That's why I thought it was him who was getting drunk. They both Brian Kendrick and
Yeah.
Funaki had memorable moments, but Funaki was the one who got drunk the whole time, and he
And then
eliminated him.
he falls over.
He eliminates himself. He falls over. One day, me and Christian have reviewed Vengeance '03. That was actually our second episode. But one day we will do a road
Pre-Ed
to
era.
yeah, we will yeah, yeah, for the first two episodes I don't even know why, but for the first two episodes I did not wear a hat. I'm surprised about that. Um One day we will do a road to Vengeance and we can get Tro's thoughts on Vengeance '03 and
Oh,
we'll
good.
do I'll once again review Vengeance, but we'll be doing that to get Tro's side of things, and I cannot wait to go through the build up to Vengeance '03. I mean, Smackdown in the summer of 2003, that's my fucking childhood right there. I cannot wait to go through that. But anyway, the APA card game ending. Great segment. The APA segments throughout this show kind of made this show, as well as the whole thing with the Canaanites. There were a couple, just a lot of great segments. Your thoughts on the final APA segment, not only of the night but forever?
Well, this is it. No more APA.
Yeah.
Bradshaw goes on to win the Hardcore Championship and be somewhat successful on Raw. Farouk goes to catering for the for the rest of the year, basically.
Well, again, he does team up with Reverend Devon during the build to No Mercy '02, trying to capture the trying to become the first ever SmackDown Tag Champs. One day we'll do a Road to of No Mercy '02 as well.
Oh,
But
good.
why? What's wrong with No Mercy '02?
Matt Hardy and Zach Gowen.
That's '03, and that never happened because they
No,
were souring on Zach Gallen at that point. Or no, that did happen. Yeah, it was supposed to happen at SummerSlam. Right. They canceled it for SummerSlam, but it happened at No Mercy. You're right. But that's '03, not '02. I know
we'll
you
never
were in
do it.
preschool. I know you were.
We will never do No Mercy 03.
Why? No Mercy '03
Vince
was
McMahon and Stephanie McMahon.
that was great.
Brock versus Taker in a biker chains match.
The biker, I can do without the biker. That was such a bad. The items on the poll to main event pay per views is not like that's just weird. They
Oh,
WCW
that's pretty sacrilegious for a
Russo
Vince Russo fan.
Vince Russo did not just book or did not write a whole bunch of items on pole matches as people
They
like said.
had a woman on a fork. You know
That
what?
was
You're right. You're
entertaining as
right.
hell.
It was a fork. Yeah, it was a
Man,
forklift that time.
that was entertaining as hell. But
Oh yeah.
tell me one show that Vince Russo wrote, one pay per view that ended with the main event being an item on the pole.
The minor 49er
That was not a
match
main event. That was not a main event.
when the
And
title fell out of one of the boxes
that
when
again,
Booker tried to pull it down.
that was a Nitro main event. That was not a pay per view main event. WCW did it with Halloween Havoc in I want to say '93 or '92. It was Jake Roberts against was it Vader? And it was like the dumbest item on a pole too ever.
Was it like a coal miner's glove?
Yeah, Coal Miner's Glove. That's the exact match I'm talking about. Yeah, coal miner's glove. That was weird. That was terrible. And I had watched the build up, like the Saturday, at least the Saturday night build up to that show before I watched it. This would obviously be network era, so I was watching all of that on the network, and I was so disappointed. They were building this up so well, just for the match, the spin the wheel match, to be a coal miner's glove match. But meanwhile, yeah, Vince Russo is the guy who did all the fucking items on a pole match. Yeah, well, yeah, never on a pay-per-view main event. And his pole matches were much more entertaining than a fucking coal miner's glove pole match. But
to be fair, WCW in '93 wasn't exactly good.
I thought WCW in '93 was okay. Not that match though. I will say that.
I can tell you, Jake Roberts did not like that era.
By the way, speaking of that show, Halloween Havoc '93, a fan actually had one of the biggest predictions of any wrestling fan, because there was a fan in the stands that had a sign that said "Stunning Steve Austin, the wrestler of the '90s."
Bischoff saw that and said, "Fuck no." Fired by FedEx is more like
he said bald guys in black trunks can't sell, but meanwhile, it can't draw. Excuse me. But meanwhile,
Goldberg.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, the reason why Goldberg comes in is because he saw what Austin did with WWE, and he was like, "Yeah, now maybe these bald guys in black trunks."
Our bald guy is so much better than your bald guy. Can your bald guy go more than 20 minutes? More than 5 minutes? No.
Did I? Before we went into this, I don't even know how the hell we got in the items on the poll. But before we,
because we went from
03, No Mercy 03, because that led us. That was talking about the APA's return. We went from Vengeance 03 to No Mercy 02 to No Mercy 03. But did you give your thoughts on that final APA segment?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Okay. Main event time.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Pete Alonso. If you need a clutch home run,
baby Pete Alonso.
Yeah. If you need a clutch home run, dial 1-800-POLAR-BEAR-20, and you will get that clutch home run. But your main event of the night, Mr. McMahon and Kurt Angle taking on pre-Evolution Triple H, Ric Flair. This was an absolutely fun tag match. Star-studded. The heel Mr. McMahon, one of the greatest heels of all time. Sadly, though, Vince McMahon himself was one of the worst, most horrible heels of all time in real life. But again, we're separating characters from real life. The heel Mr. McMahon, one of the greatest heels of all time, teaming with heel Kurt Angle, who's pretty damn good as a heel himself, and they are facing Triple H and Ric Flair, Evolution before Evolution. And I give this match 4 stars. Mr. McMahon got the win over Ric Flair, excuse me, after The Undertaker did a run-in. This is Ric Flair's number 1 pick. And like Undertaker said, if you pick me, I'm going to make your life a living hell. I'm going to give you WrestleMania moment after WrestleMania moment. Well, there's the first one for you. Undertaker. Go ahead.
That'd be like Caleb Williams attacking the Bears. Just running up the Bears GM and attacking him after being drafted.
We are going to win Super Bowls with Caleb. You ain't got to worry about that.
Nope.
And you got
in Madden, yes, of course you can win.
And you got
but then the simulation ends.
How you guys doing with Grandpa Wilson?
That's great. It's crazy. Our 2 quarterbacks have more Super Bowl wins than the Bears do.
9-time NFL champions.
Well,
Second
see, that's
most
like
in
that's
NFL
like the Will
history.
Chamberlain game. We don't have footage of them, so it doesn't count.
It counts. It happened.
Nope.
9-time NFL champions. Second most in
Well,
NFL.
I could say that the Mets won the 1925 World Series. It has as much validity as any of the Bears World Championships.
We did not exist in 1925.
You don't know that. We don't know that.
Yes, we
Who's
did.
who's to say that Pete Alonso isn't a freaking demigod who can
He
was
is. Did you
alive
not? He
who's
is. Did you
alive in
not see?
1925?
He is a demigod. Do you not see him in clutch situations when the game's on the line?
I mean, only when you tell him it's his last game.
Yeah.
Other,
Somebody told him yesterday.
I mean, he didn't show it. He didn't show it in the first game of game 161 against the Braves. It took him to the ninth inning of the final wildcard game to be clutch.
Who are you talking about? The who? Game
Alonso.
161 against. No, I'm
The
talking
Braves.
about who?
The game against the Braves, he was not clutch. Alonso.
I know you're talking about the 0-7 Braves.
Yeah, the 0-7 Braves, who everyone's writing off for some reason.
Yeah. Francisco Lindor single-handedly destroyed a franchise with
Oh
one
boy.
swing. With one swing.
This is going to come back and haunt you so badly, Frank. I know it. This is going to be a freezing cold take.
I still believe the Braves are a really good team. Let's be honest. They lost 7
They've lost to the
games
West.
to the Padres and Dodgers.
Yeah, one team is a fucking super team. The others are the Padres.
I mean, we went 5-0 last year and made the playoffs. You can go
0-5.
0-7. Yeah, my bad. We went 0-5.
Start 5-0.
We went 5-0
and
made the playoffs. Yeah, well,
to be fair, we were 11-1 at some point, like 2018 or 2019.
2018.
Yeah. Didn't make it that year.
Yeah, but you can go 0-7 and still make the playoffs. There's fucking 162 games in a season.
No team has never done it before.
They've lost to. I'm pretty sure there's an 0-7 team that has made the playoffs.
Because you have to understand the playoff structure now is so forgiving. Back then it wasn't.
No, I know. The 07 and 08 Mets would have made the playoffs under the current postseason. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, McMahon and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Ric Flair. Like I said, I give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The run-in, obviously, you're still building Undertaker and Flair, which they're not wrestling each other, but Undertaker will obviously face Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, spoiler alert on where Austin's going.
Oh, man.
And Ric Flair will be the referee in that match. But yeah, great match here. That was fun. My match of the night goes to NWO versus Hogan, Rock, and Kane. Segment of the night, man, there was a lot of funny shit on here. I will say that, but I'm going with the more serious segment that was the first segment of the night after our opening match, which really wasn't a match. McMahon. Well, let's see how many people. A lot of guys were in this. McMahon, Angle. It started with Angle, then you had McMahon come in. Then Triple H came out, and then Flair came out. And obviously, this was all setting up the main event of the night. And I give that segment of the night. Match of the night is, like I said, NWO versus Kane, X-Pac, or Kane, Hogan, and Rock. With the main event being a very, very close segment, very close second. Your thoughts on the main event plus your segment and match of the night?
I thought the main event was good. My favorite part, of course, was when Leviathan and Randy Orton ran down the ramp. This was the actual start of. This was the real start of Evolution. We all know that.
I thought the actual start of Evolution was when the guy who ran in the 24/7 hardcore title match on this night got the shit beat out of him, and then Triple H said, "Well, when you wake up one night, and you're in a hospital bed, just know that Evolution has passed you by. I thought that was the beginning of Evolution.
Nope, it was right. It was right here, right now. But then the Leviathan thought, "Hey, my name should be Batista. I should be I should team up with this Deacon guy named Devon."
No, Batista is the Deacon. Reverend guy.
He's a Deacon. No, he's an
Devon
actor.
was not a deacon. He was a fucking reverend. You said team up with this Deacon guy.
I meant to say Reverend.
So, match of the night, segment of the night.
Match of the night's main event, and segment of the night is literally any of the APA segments.
Yeah, I won't argue either way. You like, I can't argue with those either way. Tag match was fun. I personally enjoyed the 6-man just a little more, and I honestly could have went. There's a lot of segments where you could look at it and be like, yeah, that's the segment of the night. Like the Kane,
easy night for Brock. By the way,
oh yeah,
in and out, buddy.
That's all of his nights so far have been that just like
but he hasn't always had the opening match though.
All right, no, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Brock. See you next week.
Yeah, like you could have picked Kane and Hogan and Rock segment as a segment tonight. You could have picked any of the, like you picked. You could have picked any of the APA segments. I personally went with that first segment, but yeah, there were a lot of great segments on this show, and if there was more build to the pay-per-view, this is the one problem with the show, and I get where we just came off the draft, and we're not yet at the brand extension, so we're not really focusing on the pay-per-view just yet, but if there was more focus on the pay-per-view, this could have potentially been a 10 out of 10 show. But my overall rating out of 10, because of the segments and because you had two really fun tag matches, the 6-man and then the main event, I give us an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very fun show. Just, again, the not focusing on the pay-per-view brought this down. It could have been a 10 out of 10. Your overall rating out of 10?
I give this a 7 out of 10. Very solid show.
In tribute to the Atlanta Braves, you're gonna give this an 0-7 out of 10.
An 0-7 out of 10, obviously. I can't wait for this to bite you in the ass rather in October.
Hey, I have dealt with the Atlanta Braves for so many years. Anytime they struggle, I'm here for it, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, they struggled so badly in 2021 when they lost to Cunha. They so badly that they won the World Series.
Yeah, that team was really good. But, yeah, well, hopefully this 0-7 start can bury them. We will see. Again, I'm not writing them off.
It's April, Frank. It's April.
I know. I'm not writing them off. It's literally...
Maybe they have a Latin superstar that we don't know about.
By the way, the season started in March, and it took all the way to the beginning of April for the Mets to actually win a series.
Season
without context, that's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yep, season over. Time to be swept by the Blue Jays and doubleheader.
Oh, hell no. We're going to destroy the Blue Jays.
Nope.
A couple of Pete Alonso home runs. And Pete's going to destroy them because he could have went there and they didn't want him. So Pete's going to go off on them.
Pete revenge game. Yeah, this Pete Alonso's like, I didn't want to come back to New York. I wanted to go to the Blue Jays. Why didn't you offer me more money? We're sorry, eh? We're still we're trying to sign this Tavares guy, eh?
So our next show will be the first show of the brand extension.
Yep. Which means
yes.
Frank will be doing that show. I'll be covering the Smackdowns, and then we'll come back together.
I don't know what you're talking about. I got drafted to Smackdown.
Oh, I got drafted to developmental OVW. So I'll be reviewing the weekly OVW shows with Leviathan, the Prototype, and Randy
They
Orton.
they powerbomb you through flaming tables on OVW too.
No, 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 no. Jim Cornette would never allow such a thing. He actually slapped me 27 times like he did Santino.
Oh my gosh, poor Santino, man. Jim
Nope.
Cornette knew. Jim Cornette knew this guy's trying to make it to the WWE, so I
He
can
didn't know
slap.
it.
Yes, he did.
No, he
knows.
did. He did not know that Santino was one of the students. The guy was there for 2 weeks. He didn't know it.
He was there on the show. He had to have known. So he's like, oh well, he's not gonna touch me because he doesn't want to get fired. So I can slap him around and bully him. Man, fuck Cornette for that.
No,
Seriously.
no, Cornette was totally justified in slapping that dumb fuck.
Hell no, he fucking wasn't. No,
He was very justified.
And if Santino Marella had
Santino wouldn't have touched him.
If Santino
he would have been jumped by the boogeyman who was pissed off at him.
If Santino Marella was not worried about his job, Jim Cornette would never laid a finger on him.
No,
because Cornette would have been worried that he'd get his ass whooped.
Cornette doesn't give a fuck.
And Cornette would be getting his ass whooped and yelling the N word. He'd be yelling the N word.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that.
I don't want to get community guidelined again, but we can pull up a YouTube video. You know.
Let's not say we didn't.
This
is why the FCT ENT. This is why FCT ENT is dying, folks, because we can't agree on.
When have we ever lived
on Jim Cornette?
When have we ever lived? Jim Cornette. I am a fan of the character.
Frank is a fan of Shitstain, so.
Like I just said, I am a fan of Shitstain's character, but the person,
there's no character. Vince Russo is Vince Russo.
Well, first of all, who's talking about Vince Russo? You said Shitstain.
Shitstain is Vince Russo.
No.
Yes.
Shitstain is the guy who slaps people.
Slaps people who don't fucking run when you see everybody else running.
Well, you should have explained to him that
you don't. If you know how tall Boogeyman is, right?
Yeah.
Everybody around you's running. Everybody else is running around you. Everybody else is running around you.
Well,
a big ass motherfucker with antlers and a goddamn stick is coming right at you. What do you do? Do you sit there as like,
what you do,
or do you fucking run, you dick?
How does he supposed to know he's supposed to run if nobody?
Because everybody else around him who's in his class is running.
Just because everybody else
is
running,
my God.
Run?
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Bro, you're supposed to tell these guys what they're supposed to do. What they're supposed. Imagine. So we're just gonna send people out who have barely ever been in the business.
It's common sense, though.
It's not common sense.
Frank, if a 7-foot man is coming right at you and everybody else is running, what do you do?
Even then, this is not the problem.
But what do you do? You run.
The problem is, first of all, that Jim Cornette bullied freaking Santino Marella all because he made a mistake. But even then, it's Jim Cornette's fault for not telling him what to do.
It's common sense.
It's not common sense.
If a big ass motherfucker
in real life,
and this was supposed to be treated like real life.
How does he supposed to know? He's sitting in the crowd. How is he supposed to know?
Because he's a plant. He's a plant. First of all, with the other trainees.
Go out there and sit out there. What am I to do? Go out there.
When the big ass motherfucker is coming at you, move. But it's everybody. If your other friends are moving around and you're a professional, you're training to become a wrestler, take the hint and fucking move.
When you are training somebody, you are supposed to be telling them what they need to do. And Jim Cornette did not. But even then, It's not common sense. This dude has barely been in the business at this point. You are training him to learn
And
this
he
shit.
knows.
You are supposed to
He
tell
should
them
have
what they need
known
to
better.
do. He should not have needed to. Jim Cornette should have told this motherfucker what to do. He didn't tell him what. That's literally.
He was coming right at this motherfucker is about 6-something. Has a stick, has antlers, which was falling off. He just cut like this crazy ass promo. Jim Cornette. The whole thing was Jim Cornette said before the show to the crowd, "There's this crazy motherfucker who's coming around. If you see him, run." He said that to the crowd, including the rest of the people who have becoming wrestlers. He said that before the show started. It was to hype up, of course, because the gimmick was supposed to be Boogeyman's like a psycho wrestling fan who thinks he's legitimately Boogeyman. That's how Cornette was working the character. Again, he says that before the show.
He says that before the
fucking
show
run. To the crowd,
never,
including the trainers, the trainees.
He never went.
He said, "Run."
He's told to the crowd, and yeah, maybe the trains. He never told them before the show, or at least he never told Santino. According to Santino, he was never told before the show that that's what he was supposed to do.
Oh, of course, Santino's not going to be like, "Oh, you know what? They told me to run, but I'm not going to run."
But even
that would make him look bad.
Regardless of what happened, Jim Cornette looks bad. Regardless of what happened,
Cornette's never said.
It's not about what he said; it's what he did. You don't.
Cornette's never been said. He never said that he was okay with. He said, "I probably shouldn't have slapped him." He said, looking back on it,
yeah, exactly.
I probably shouldn't have slapped him, but he really pissed. You have to think about this from Jim Cornette. He just shit himself.
Yeah, I know.
When he was standing up to yell, run at him. The freaking barrier falls on his brother.
I feel bad for him for that happening, but you don't just go and slap somebody just because that happened.
He was pissed off in the. He said he shouldn't have done it, but you know what? It worked out well for him because that was a high anxiety job. The office hated him because he wanted to, not push and not work with fucking idiots like Santino or Morella, and he tried to, make the Boogeyman not something into a complete total joke. And the fucking Gemini. Remember Gemini?
Yeah, I kind of do.
That story where it was like one of you guys had to. Why didn't you guys duck for like a clothesline?
Oh yeah, you told me this. Yeah.
And he said, "Which one?" Well, that's as much. That's more intense than the Paul Heyman and Jim Ross arguments.
Jim Ross and Paul Heyman are always great together, man.
Yeah, they should have had an argument like a debate like we just did.
Oh yeah, so there is no team has ever made the playoffs. 7-7. I see that right now. Yeah.
Until the Braves do it.
Yeah, they can do it and be the first team eliminated from the playoffs. How about that?
Nope. They'll do good. They'll be fine. Everything is relative in baseball. The Marlins will go back to sucking. The Phillies will be okay. The Nationals will be okay. Dodgers will go 162-0.
No, that will never happen. No matter how good a team is, that will never happen.
You're forgetting Shohei Ohtani, the motherfucker. The GOAT.
Bro,
the greatest.
He had a 50-50 season last year. He deserved the MVP.
No, I think Lindor did.
I love Francisco Lindor. That home run he hit was the greatest regular season moment in franchise history. Ohtani had a better season, and that's why he got MVP.
He got it because his last name was Shohei. His first name was Shohei. His last name was Ohtani.
It has nothing to do with his name. It has something to do with the numbers. 50-50 season, something nobody had ever done. 50-50 season. That's worthy of an MVP.
They will retire his number league-wide. once he retires. It's the
No,
Shohei Ohtani show starring Shohei Ohtani with guest host Shohei Ohtani and other Japanese pitchers and players. The Tokyo Dodgers over there.
Hang on. What's the date of this next Raw? Let's see. Speaking of that, do you want to do that? Oh, look at that. Harvey.
Yeah, she's agreeing with me, right? She's agreeing with me about Jim Cornette.
Oh, she's telling you you're crazy for siding with Cornette.
Yeah, she's telling me that you're crazy for siding with Vince Russo.
No, Harvey over there is a big Vince Russo supporter in terms of his writing. Because there's some shit that Vince Russo says that I, outside of with his podcast, I can't even fucking.
Well, he's a Yankee fan, I think.
No, he's He's a Rocky fan. Oh no, he's a Giants fan. He's a Giants fan.
See that makes sense. I knew he's a fucking New York Giant fan.
He grew up in New York, and I think his dad must have been like a Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of those elderly people who still root for the Dodgers and Giants.
No.
Get over yourself.
He doesn't root for the Dodgers. He roots for the Giants.
I'm saying he's one of those old people who, my grandfather used to root for the Brooklyn Dodgers, so I'm here for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He doesn't live in New York anymore. He lives in Colorado now.
Oh yeah, that's where all the good weed is.
But
it's cheaper.
He freaking bullies the Fightful people and. Especially Hollywood.
Well, every writer bullies the Fightful people, and the people like Dave Meltzer because they're you're spoiling stuff. It's like, yeah, they are. The only difference is that Fightful and Meltzer are paid by AEW.
They don't bully them in terms of making fun. They used to make fun of like what they say and shit like that. They have a series called Castrating the Marks. I say they because Russo's obviously not the only person on the podcast, but they have it's him and Jeff Lane. They have a series called Castrating the Marks. This started with them essentially making fun of wrestling takes. Somebody who makes and mostly it's the Dirty guys when they make a horrible wrestling take. And it's devolved into Sean Ross Sapp's the lead Fightful guy, right? So it's like, look at Sean Ross Sapp's hair. Oh, this looks horrible. And it's like whenever they watch Hollywood's, because Hollywood does like live streams, and as far as I know, she's pretty successful with her live streams. And Russo fucking makes fun of like who reacts like that, bro. And it's like, bro, she's not the only one that does shit like that. You go all over YouTube. This shit's all over YouTube. Russo just comes off like a old man, how you say it, yelling at cloud when it comes to...
Yeah, old man yells at cloud.
Yeah. He comes off as like old man yelling at cloud when he fucking talks about Hollywood and how she reacts in her videos. It's like, bro, this is how you get engagement, by doing that type of shit. She's making money off that shit, bro.
I know all the old writers. I know people like Bruce Pritchard and especially Eric Bischoff are always like, whenever Conrad and my dick does not work because I'm fat, but I'm going to blame other stuff, Thompson. Whenever they bring up like a Meltzer report from whatever show they're reviewing, they're like, I don't know how Meltzer got that info, but that's totally not true when it turns out to be true.
Yeah. See, I love
when it's corroborated by other reports.
See, I love when Bruce Pritchard goes in on Dave Meltzer because he actually goes in on Dave Meltzer and on the reporter that he is. He doesn't sit there and go, bro, why does his hair look like that and all this shit that Russo does?
Well, modern Meltzer is fucking... Modern Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp are all fucking dorks. They're paid by AEW to. AEW is great. John Moxley with the John Moxley's spike spot was great for professional wrestling, and now they're attacking fucking RV. They're attacking RVD. RVD's been fucking. He's been on a roll in X.
I know that Meltzer supports AEW like crazy, but Rosap isn't anti-WWE though.
He's not anti-WWE, but he is very much so very pro AEW.
Right. I see. I don't watch them like that. The only shit I see of Meltzer and Rosap in Hollywood is whenever I'm watching Russo, and all Russo's doing is fuck. And they show the clips, obviously. So I've seen clips, but it's just Russo essentially bullying them. Like, look at the hair. Look at like, bro, like what the fuck. So
well,
yeah, go ahead.
We've been lingering on for a bit.
Yes, we've hit an hour 30 when we finished at like an hour in. But yeah, so I was looking up the date. That's why I want to find the date of the upcoming Raw, and I believe it's April 2nd. So that's the next show.
That's yesterday.
Yeah, and why not do it tomorrow when it was yesterday? You want to do it tomorrow? Same time? All
same
right.
bat time, same bat channel.
Yes. So thank you to everybody who watched. If you liked, please subscribe. In the middle of the month, we have the Islander recap, which is starting to look like, that's starting to look like it most likely will be our final Islander video of the season. Not just of the season period. They look like they're not going to make playoffs. Obviously, once we get to May, we will recap the Mets month of March/April.
Including the spring training games.
No.
Damn it. Every time. I keep on falling for this, Frank.
We are never going to recap spring training games.
Damn it. I love spring training games. Brett Beatty is like Babe Ruth. It's spring training.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think they should count spring training games.
No.
All I know is that when we're doing our Islanders recap, I'll be a rich man in the making.
Yes, and speaking of hockey,
hopefully he does.
Hopefully Alex Ovechkin gets. Yes, I agree. Hopefully,
hopefully he does break it.
Hopefully he
against
breaks
us.
it with a hat trick against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Nope.
Let's go hat trick.
OV.
What type of Islander fan wants to see a record?
What kind of
like
hockey fan doesn't want to see it?
A hockey fan that is a fan of his team and doesn't want to see his team get a record like that scored against.
That is a great record to get scored against you, though.
No, nothing that involves the opposing team making good history on you. This
is actually perfect because we finally get our final revenge against Gretzky for that one cup loss. Because now we get to have Ovechkin do it against us, thus passing Gretzky, thus eliminating him from all of history. They will unretire the number 99 and retire the number 8. No longer will Gretzky be called the Great One. It'll only be Ovechkin.
Ovechkin had it against the Blackhawks. Let's go. And
you know what? Actually, I do hope he gets it because then Caleb Williams will see that and see that Chicago has horrible sports teams, and asked to be traded to the Giants. Yep.
No, I don't know. Caleb's too young for a team that wants Grandpa Wilson as their coach.
No. He can back up Grandpa Wilson and
he would not be backing up Wilson. No, he would not.
No. Apparently, we went from not having any black quarterbacks in our team for like 10 years to now exclusively having black quarterbacks. So,
Yeah,
Caleb,
crazy.
come on in, buddy.
No, Caleb's not coming.
Yeah.
You guys want to finish in last place with Grandpa.
You guys aren't diverse enough. I'm just saying. I don't want to say the Bears organization is a racist organization, but the Bears organization is a racist organization.
Bro, they've been calling us a racist organization for years. So, yeah.
I mean, if the shoe fits. Just saying. Well, how many black quarterbacks do you have? Hmm?
One.
Exactly. How many do we have? 3.
How do you have 3? No, you have 2.
2. We're gonna have 3 when we draft Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Well.
It's gonna be the biggest clown show in the world.
No, not if you draft Shedeur.
Yes, if we draft Shedeur.
If you have Grandpa Wilson as your starting quarterback, it will damn sure be a shit show.
No.
If you draft Shedeur, now you have a future quarterback in place. Now you got to put talent around him. Now you got to put talent.
No, we already have talent.
Do you have an offensive line?
Offensive lines are overrated, Frank.
No, that's what I mean by you got to put talent around. You need to have somebody blocking.
Offensive lines are for jabronis.
Y'all better draft a quarterback. That's all I gotta say. Or else
Look, we're gonna draft a punter first. We're gonna draft punter. It's gonna be great. The Giant fans will be very happy. I know the NFL fans will be happy because they're getting rid of the tush push, which is obviously the biggest problem that the league has going on right now. Right, the tush push.
Yeah, because the team in your division is successfely doing it.
Apparently that's like the biggest issue that people have right now. Please, just give the Eagles more reason to fucking be pissed off at the world.
It should not be. It should not be banned. That's all I got to say about that.
Now both teams get the ball in overtime.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit, man.
I can't. That's gonna be horrible. It's essentially a shootout at this point.
Oh my gosh.
You know, they should, instead of having a tie, because ties don't belong in professional sports, they should just go to a kickoff.
Oh, it's like field goal. Yeah, field goal for field goal.
Yeah, could you imagine though?
That'd be crazy. That'd be fucking crazy.
I can see it now. Cody Parkey returns from retirement, signs with the Bears.
No, he ain't coming back here.
This is it.
Cairo Santos.
You make this kick. You go to the playoffs. Doink, 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 doink. Oh my God, a quadruple doink, and it doesn't go in.
Cody Parkey will never step foot in Soldier Field ever again. We have Cairo Santos, and we're very happy about him.
No. Could be worse. You could be Blair Walsh.
Or Matt Dodge. Who did he play for again?
Who did the Giants? Did the Giants win a Super Bowl the following year? I think they did. They did. That's right.
Still ain't catch us. 9-time NFL champ.
Yeah, but like I said, that doesn't count. That don't count.
It absolutely counts.
Okay, I got terrified like this.
Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted. We're gonna get copyrighted. Hopefully YouTube does not recognize the song there. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. Like I said, thank you to anybody who's watched. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow for the April 2nd, 2000.